Hello everyone, this is akathecoot with a ranked Vi jungle game. Vi's skill set is a very unique one. She's definitely my favorite character to play in the jungle without a doubt. I get a lot of wins with her. Her passive ability is she gains a shield equal to 10% of her health when she actually hits somebody with an activated skill. So after every skill you use. Her Q is called Vault Breaker. It slows your speed a little bit, but it charges up and lets you dash a good distance. Great for getting away, and obviously great for initiating things. If you hit an enemy champion with it, it pops them up in the air, and it's a real game changer. You'll see me using that constantly throughout the game. Her W is Denting Blows. It makes every third attack of hers deal additional damage, equal to the percentage of the target's maximum health, and it reduces their armor by 25%, I believe, and grants you a small little attack speed boost. Her E is Excessive Force, which causes her next attack to deal bonus damage to the target, and it actually hits things behind them as well. You'll see me doing that in the jungle. That's when that frontal AoE cone pops out. Great for doing a little extra damage. And her ultimate is called Assault and Battery, and it is without a doubt a game changer. It has a huge distance and stops the target and pops them up in the air. I believe it can be interrupted now, but I mean, you'll see me use this and change the game a few times. I also noticed that a lot of people, they show these videos and they always win. In this particular video, we don't win. So I think it's good to get it out there that, don't give the false impression that every game you play is a winning game. Anyways, here you see me trying to help out top after a failed attempt middle. This Tryndamere he's a pretty good Tryndamere. He's pretty much the reason they won the game, but you got to be real good with your charge up there. And, at least I'm giving him lane presence. He wasn't a very nice Tryndamere either. There you can see you can get through the walls with your Vault Breaker, which is good for getting away from things, but in this case I wanted to get to the red a little faster. I make a few mistakes in this game. I don't think it's anything that cost us the game, but I probably should have just ran through the jungle normally and did it that way, but oh well, we all make mistakes. There, I show face. You're going to see me checking off a lot in this game. I mean, if there's not a kill there as a jungle, for you newer people, I mean, don't overstay your welcome. There's no reason to. There'll be opportunities like this where you catch Tryndamere out there and get your top person a kill. So we're already starting with Tryndamere set back a little bit, which is how you want to start the game for sure. Since we got a down period here, obviously go into the jungle. The build that I use with her is not the most standard build. It's pretty much what people are doing nowadays. I start to go for the Spirit Stone first, just because I'm not looking to do too much damage right now. Now I'm just trying to be, useful and try to use utility to get kills for other people, because I know I'll get mine later. But I go from that to the Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and here's a great example of this Tryndamere being good. I flash like a scrub after him trying to get him and realize right now that he's just going to take the tower hits and die. His unending rage is just, it's ridiculous, but I don't think it's overpowered. It's a real good utility to use if you know how to use it, and you'll see him take full advantage of this all throughout the game. But again, that's knowing your enemy. Here I try to get behind them and it doesn't work, so it's just another check off, just showing face in the lane. We do manage to finally catch Kaylee a little out of position. You can see my ult there, that slows her down great, but unfortunately my ult kept her out of Zig's ult, which probably cost us the kill. It was a very frustrating beginning. That's probably why I made a few silly mistakes early, but definitely turn it around late here. Here's a good example of not being able to see in the bush. So I charge in there hoping that he's making a full retreat, but we stop him pretty good here and have to check off again though. Not every trip in the jungle to a lane is going to make a kill, but either way, go back, pick up a red, try and stay in the game here and not fall too far behind. I get handed a Hecarim here. That's just being aware. I saw them fighting mid, so I went to go help there, and he just happened to take the bush that led to me getting my first kill. If everybody hears me drinking, that's because I have to have coffee, even though it is around noontime here. Coffee, coffee, coffee. After going down, you can see one of the better combos for clearing minions. If you do your Vault Breaker into a line of minions, it almost always straightens them out, and then you can excessive force through the minion that you're closest to, and it'll do a lot of damage behind them. Great for clearing waves real quick. Again, I got enough money, so I port back. I get the Spirit of the Elder Lizard, pick up a pot, and as a good jungler should always do, grab a ward. Somebody needs it. The ward coverage top and middle is non-existent right now, but it is what it is. I come down lane here because I know that they're warding the bush. Try to hold out a little bit. See that I have my ult up. MF does a good job trying to bait there. I see that he got a good grab on Janna, so just secure the kill there, take what we can get and get out of there. That worked out really well. Great communication between Thresh and me. And landing that chain made a huge difference, but probably could have got away with not using my ult and used it on their AD carry on the other team, but I mean, got the kill and that's what's important. And just as important as getting a kill is knowing when you're going to get killed and getting out of there. We probably could have forced that team fight and lost, but better to leave. Nothing going on again. Return back to the jungle and try and pick up some gold and not become useless in the game here. It's the hardest part of jungle is staying in the leveling game as well. Here, get another shot at the AD carry. As you can see, I'm doing a good amount of damage. I used my ult there a little early, but Thresh makes up for that by doing his chain. But once again, as frustrating as it may seem, they got away. The only problem with making videos is you can see all the mistakes that you made. It's always something to learn from. Some of the best advice I got from an article on LOL was to not get frustrated when you lose and try and learn something from the losses as much as the wins. And this was a real good example of that. I could have done a lot of things different. Here you get to see his spin move and how he can get away from basically anything anywhere. Another frustrating attempt at a gank, but still, it's all good because he's got a port back most likely, and that's going to lead to a lot of loss in CS if the top laner is doing what he should. I take middle across for a reason there. I want to show that I'm in the lane. There's a lot of movement going on with their jungler and stuff, so I want to show presence. But it leads to nothing. Janna knows that I'm there and hits me, so I figure there's no reason to be there. They did a great job warding that bottom lane on the enemy team, which is not something you want to happen as a jungler, but I'm supposing that's something that all skilled players do. Here, I don't know what she was doing, but I'm not one to turn down a free kill. And this is where Vault Breaker becomes awesome. You can take corners a lot quicker than other people and secure the easy kills. This is why I don't lose very often with Vi. She has a great skill set, even after the nerf that they did. Here I shank my Vault Breaker, but at the same time, I feel like we definitely have enough damage to get it done, and just go for a very simple thing there. Lane dive. Try to take as many tower hits as I could, and then completely missed the fact that he died. Wasn't paying attention, doing something else. Got a good flash. Got to get a mouthful from Trindlemere. That's the goodness. After Spirit of the Elder Lizard, I start to go for the Black Cleaver, which is initiated through the Brutalizer. And again, I try to take the lane down just as a surprise thing. But they see me, and I end up just ulting onto Vi to close the distance, and hoping that Thresh can land another awesome chain move here. End up getting the kill anyways without it, but things start to go to hell here because Hecarim is doing pretty good as well. But we end up making them retreat, which is what we were going to do anyways. So without any minions to push, there's no reason for me to be here. I decided to take off after a while here. You don't want to stick around a lane for no reason, like I'm doing at this moment. But, like I said, they don't have a lot. I figure if we can get the tower down, we'll get the kill here. But she wisely uses her ult to stop me from doing what I'm doing, and we end up getting a tower. Along with that tower, we get a dragon. So at this point in the game, I feel real good about things. I feel like we should have a good go at winning. I didn't feel like we shouldn't lose, or I did feel like we shouldn't lose, but it's one of those things, there's nothing you can do about it. There I used my ult to try and split them up, try and get the double kill. Probably should have just secured the single kill, but video hindsight. Make a good mistake here by trying to test out this AD champion on the other team and just absolutely get worked. Vayne just does a massive amount of damage real quick. She is really fed. I figured he was going to get a grab there. He didn't get it, but we ended up fooling around with her for no reason and chasing. That's never a good thing. Even though in this particular case they get the kill, but most of the time when you're chasing, they're running back to their team, so you can't do a lot with that. You're just going to end up running into a team full of enemy champions, and that's no good. Here's fun with Tryndamere again. As you can see, he lasts forever, but once again, we got Loki on the video with his whammy stick, just absolutely taking people down. He is a decent game. I think he's well ahead with kills up until the end of the game, where things just tend to fall apart. There, I attempt to go for Vayne and end up misclicking and getting Hecarim. This is why I'm not diamond ranked. But all in all, a pretty even fight. So I should have kept going with the fight. I had low health. I thought for sure my team was going to disengage because it was just too low, but they go in and I go down to check and end up breaking right into the first death. Gotta love those skills. There's something about feeling obligated to die right after your team dies, but we end up getting a tower because Ziggs is smart and didn't get into things. But at the same time, Tryndamere does what he does all game long, split pushes right into the base, just absolutely destroys everything. At one point, I think he split pushes right up to the inner towers, the two towers, and it's just, he's a pain. And the worst part is he called it at the beginning of the game too, so I had to eat it. But like I said, the glorified, romanticized, you're going to win every game in LOL is a real bad thing to get into, because that's not the case. Most people don't start winning until they have plenty of experience in the game. As you can see, I went after Janna in the bushes because I figured she'd be alone. She had a bunch of friends, but it didn't really matter. We ended up picking the kill. I ended up picking the kill up anyways, and went in, picked up the double. I mean, they're just pretty much giving kills away at this time, but I don't feel like I have enough health to deal with that Kaylee, so I don't bother with her, and I attempt to leave and then come back because I don't want her to do more damage than she has to, and we come out of that, once again, real far ahead. So it's one of those things where you look back and you wonder what went wrong, but it definitely is that Tryndamere. He deserves all the credit in the world. Good player. Here they stay just out of the range of my ult, which is terrible. I could have initiated the fight there. But again, hindsight, at this point I should have been building tanky. But I catch Janna out, she uses her shield, knocks me up, and then we end up with a bunch of characters there. And poor Loki gets caught into the middle of things. I try to ult to save him, but she gets shielded. And that team just, with Undying Rage on their team and Kaylee's invulnerable, it made for a hard team to beat towards the end of the game there. At this point I have the Black Cleaver, so I start to go for, I believe, the Blade of the Ruined King. I should have, like I said, built tankier, and that probably wouldn't have happened, but you can see here, I was the only one that went back to try and stop Tryndamere. I got my ass handed to me there, and Tryndamere got all the way into the inner towers, and at this point, it's just a giant, what do we do, defensive type of thing. I'm pretty sure they pick up Baron at some point here. I think I make an effort to try and stop that real quick and end up just checking it off because there's no point. We got no vision on it. But they do end up going to do it, and at this point, me and MF are way out of range, and I get stuck with another fight against Tryndamere. I don't want to go into that bush. It's tough not to go in and keep fighting, but he's already shown me once that when it's me versus him, I don't have a good chance at beating him. So I think at this point I got like 8 or 9 kills and should be completely fed, but when I went Black Cleaver, I should have not went black for the Blade of the Ruined King, went for a little more armor. Done something to try and counter the fact that he has Undying Rage, but it happens. There, that's what Vayne does best. Ult in, go straight for the carry. At least that got her out of there, but nobody could have expected Kaylee to be such a beast. She goes in and gets the double. Now you can see things kind of unraveling a little bit. A better team probably could have came back and done something about this, but once again you see Tryndamere just going in there and doing whatever he wants. Padding my stats a little bit, but still doing way too much split pushing, and nobody can stop him. There's no reason why he should be able to get all the way into the base like that every single time. It's also a good example of what to expect in LOL, with the fact that, you know, it's a team game, and if your team's not doing everything they can, or doing more than they can in certain lanes, then you're not going to get it. It's just not going to happen. So that's one of those situations where me and two of the people on the team were doing good, and then there's just our AD carry didn't really get fed enough to where he could make the difference that Vayne's making. So it happens. Here I go in, try and ult and take care of things, but at this point it's just toast. There's no way to do it. And as you can see, game over. But that's how it goes. If you stay tuned for just a second here, the Masters are at the end. This is akathecoot. Everybody, I hope you enjoy and take care.